Hi and welcome to Ottawa English. I'm Angela. Today we're looking at some of the responses to a travel topic for IELTS Part 3, Speaking. So, how easy is it to travel around your country? I live in Canada, where as long as you have a car, it's fairly easy to get around. The bigger problem is the sheer size of the country, because it would take over 90 hours of driving to get from Canada's most western point, that's Beaver Creek in the Yukon, to Canada's most eastern point, that's Mary's Harbour in Newfoundland. Other than flying, there aren't too many alternatives to choose from. Which method of travel do you consider safest? I tend to think flying is the safest way to travel over long distances because you eliminate the risk of drivers falling asleep at the wheel. For shorter distances around the city, buses are probably safer than cars because drivers tend to be more careful around larger vehicles like buses. Has travel become safer in recent years? Oh, I'm not quite sure how to answer that question because it really depends on how you look at it. Technically, it has probably become safer because of developments like airbags, safety inspections, and various mechanical advances. Crime-wise, I'm not sure because we hear so much about theft, pickpockets, and pirates. And that's before we get into COVID and germ warfare. What do you think people can learn about travelling to other countries? Travelling to other countries can really open your eyes to the different ways that people live. But my feeling is that you need to spend a lot more time in a single location to really understand that. Most of the time, travellers just go to the tourist attractions that they can see on YouTube. So I'm not sure people learn much by travelling to other countries. What are the pros and cons of low-cost travel? The biggest disadvantage is probably the cost to the environment. Cheaper flights means more planes, which means more fossil fuels and more greenhouse gases. On the other hand, the biggest advantage is the ability to immigrate to a different country and still be able to afford to go home every now and then. How do you think people will travel in the future? Within the next few years, I suspect there will be more research into hydrogen-powered vehicles, both on the road and in the air. Maybe we'll see the return of blimps floating across the sky with baskets of people hanging below them. There are several ways of practicing your responses to the questions in the IELTS test. One of them is to shadow. Another is to read aloud. And the third is to visualize. First of all, shadowing. Basically, with shadowing, you're copying what somebody else says and the way that they say it. So the way to go about it is, first of all, to choose a speaker. Maybe it's somebody who gives TED Talks, maybe it's an audiobook, it could be a podcast or an actor or actress in a movie. But pick somebody that you like the sound of and then start copying them. So play a section of their talk and listen to their phrasing, their intonation, and their pronunciation. And then once you've done that, replay that section. So you're not looking at the whole movie, you're just looking at a small section where they're speaking. And then you copy what they're saying, sentence by sentence. And you keep doing that until you can speak at the same time as they're speaking for that section, not the whole movie. And then copy that phrasing, that intonation and pronunciation. So you're really trying to sound just like they do. And that will help with your fluency. The second way is to read aloud. And basically here you're going to choose a book, an article, a poem or quote, or something else that's written. And then you read a sentence, maybe read a full paragraph, and then read it again and record it. And when you listen to it, you want to be sure that your sound for each of your words is clear. So you want to be sure that you're enunciating every single word. If you can't understand it, or if your friend can't understand it, keep practicing. The third way is to visualize. And basically this means that you choose a picture with some activity in it. It could be just a picture, it might be a graphic novel or a comic strip. And then you imagine what the conversation is about and identify what each person is saying. So, for example, here we've got a picture of a man and a woman walking along with their suitcases. And so what I imagine they might be saying is, I'm really excited about taking this trip with you. To which the man responds, me too, but I think we need to be walking faster. We're not going to be there in time for our flight. And she answers, okay, let's speed up a bit. And he responds, just a second, if we're going to walk faster, I need to put my hat inside the bag. And she responds, sure, but don't take too long. We're supposed to be speeding up, not slowing down. So now you pick a picture and imagine what the people are saying to each other. And of course, the fourth way is to work with a tutor and take some classes. And if you'd like to talk to me about that, you can reach me at 613-614-6460. I hope you liked my video. If so, please click on the like button. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.